Okay, picture this. Imagine a centuries-old charitable tradition from the Middle East suddenly joining forces with cutting-edge blockchain technology and modern fintech to tackle global poverty. Sounds a little like sci-fi, right? Well, how exactly does an ancient system adapt to the digital age so seamlessly? And more importantly, why should anyone interested in sustainable development actually care?
Welcome to today's Explainer. We are exploring a truly incredible evolution in modern economics, the transformation of Waqf. We're going to see exactly how a classical, charitable entity has been completely rewired from the ground up into a high-tech tool designed to drive financial inclusion and global sustainability.
So, here is our roadmap for today. 1. What is Waqf? 2. A renaissance in research. 3. Modernizing the rulebook. 4. Waqf in the digital age. And 5. Funding global sustainability. All right, let's just jump right in.
Section 1. What is Waqf? The classical roots of an ancient charitable system.
Now, notice the word perpetual here. That's absolutely crucial. Under Islamic law, a waqf is a permanent endowment. Historically, someone would donate a physical asset, maybe a piece of land, a freshwater well, an orchard, or even a school building. But the golden rule is that the principal asset has to remain intact forever. Meanwhile, the income or the benefits it generates are continuously spent on specific beneficiaries, like the poor, or just for broader community welfare. It's essentially an enduring, living legacy of charity.
All right, let's look at this comparison, because this is where the paradigm really shifts. For centuries, classical Waqf was entirely localized. It relied heavily on physical property and direct local charity. But compare that to the modern model. Today, we're talking about cash Waqf, actually donating monetary funds instead of real estate. We're talking about integration with Islamic bonds, known as sukuk, and global fintech platforms. The contrast is stark. It shows us an institution that hasn't just barely survived the test of time, but has proactively adapted to modern economic realities.
Section 2. A Renaissance in Research, uncovering the modern surge in Waqf studies.
And this number right here, it really tells the whole story. 910. A recent systematic literature review assessed 910 unique, peer-reviewed articles published globally between 2000 and 2024. Researchers painstakingly mapped out the evolution of Waqf studies, and what they found was a massive surge in interest, especially between 2018 and 2023. This proves that this modern evolution isn't just some fringe idea. It is a major, globally recognized shift in socioeconomic development and Islamic finance.
Notice the dominant theme emerging from that research. Legal innovations sits right at the very top with 78 dedicated studies. And that's incredibly revealing, right? It tells us that this transformation isn't just theoretical. People are actively out there rewriting the laws, restructuring governance, and figuring out the real-world mechanics to make modern Waqf actually work on a massive scale.
Section 3. Modernizing the rulebook. How traditional models shifted to corporate structures.
You see, to survive, Waqf institutions had to shift from loose traditional models to highly institutionalized structures. They are aggressively adopting strict corporate governance frameworks. In countries like Malaysia and Indonesia, we are seeing the implementation of hard performance measurement systems. And why does this matter to us? Well, because it brings accountability and transparency. When everyday people know a charitable fund is audited and measured just like a modern corporation, trust skyrockets. And for sure, so does participation.
Section 4. Waqf in the digital age, when an ancient tradition meets modern technology.
The rapid adoption of these three digital tools is completely revitalizing the entire system. First, fintech applications allow everyday people, including those in underbanked communities, to actually participate. Then, crowdfunding platforms step in to pool those small, individual cash donations into massive, impactful funds. And blockchain technology? That offers immutable, transparent ledgers. You know exactly where every single cent of your charitable endowment went. No guesswork.
This brilliantly illustrates how technology directly solves the old institutional bottlenecks. It literally strips away inefficiency, forces total transparency, and broadens access so that anyone with a smartphone in their pocket can participate in an ancient tradition of perpetual charity.
To make this super concrete, let's just walk through the seamless, modern flow of a Waqf. Step 1. A user taps an app and makes a digital cash donation. You don't need to donate a farm or a building anymore. You can literally donate $5. Step 2, that cash is managed via fintech and tracked securely on a blockchain, ensuring it's properly invested. And Step 3, the returns from that managed fund are immediately deployed out into the real world, funding sustainable microfinance loans or even building renewable energy infrastructure.
Section 5, Funding Global Sustainability, Tackling the SDGs with Islamic Finance.
Okay, to really understand how this impacts global goals, we have to bust some heavy financial jargon. We're talking about cash waqf-linked sukuk, or CWLS. Now, it sounds super complex, but it's actually a brilliant hybrid. It takes cash waqf, the monetary endowments we just talked about, and combines them with sukuk, which are Islamic bonds. It perfectly marries the spirit of charity with the raw power of institutional investment, creating massive pools of capital specifically designed to finance large-scale sustainable projects.
So if you're asking yourself, all right, what does this actually look like on the ground? Here is a perfect example. Over in Indonesia, the CWLS model isn't just theory. It is actively in action right now. They are using these exact hybrid instruments to fund sustainable food security initiatives and build green, renewable energy projects. Think about that. They are leveraging an Islamic legal concept from centuries ago to hit the UN's Sustainable Development Goals today.
And the impact stretches way beyond just infrastructure. Researchers have found that these modern Waqf models act as powerful engines for social justice. By redistributing wealth, they actively empower marginalized groups. Actually, we're seeing Waqf successfully integrated directly with microfinance institutions in places like Nigeria and Bangladesh, literally lifting people out of poverty by giving them the initial capital they need to start small businesses. It's equitable, it's sustainable, and honestly, it's highly effective.
Conclusion: the enduring value of Waqf.
Reflecting on this incredible journey, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. Right now, global finance is desperately searching for ethical, sustainable, and inclusive alternatives to the status quo. What if the answer isn't just about inventing something entirely new? What if, as we see with Waqf, the key to our sustainable future lies in dusting off ancient traditions, modernizing their rulebooks, and supercharging them with digital technology? It's a fascinating question to consider. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it sparked your curiosity as much as it did mine. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.